I'm a preschool dropout. My first year of preschool, there was this kid named Joshua. He was my first experience with mean kids, or at least as mean as you can get in preschool. Every day before snack time, he would come up to me and spit in my face. As a very irritable, stubborn, and in this case reasonable little kid, I didn't like this. 2 months into the year, I quit. My parents tried to tell me to stick it out till the end of the year, but I made up my mind. I stayed at a preschool the rest of the year. We tried to find a school that would accept a dropout 2 months into the year, but as anticipated, no takers. So at the start of the next year, I was 4, I started my new school. I went to this place called St. Andrews. This preschool was a lot better. No more spitting little kids, no more lame snack time. This place was like heaven for me. One memory I have from preschool is one day we went into chapel, midday like usual, but today was an exciting day because we were going to learn the meanings of our names. I didn't even know that names had meanings, being not a very bright child, so the whole idea that my name could mean something was amazing to me. We walked into the church portion of the building that was attached to the actual preschool, and up to the stage. Finally, the moment I had been waiting for. Everyone before me had been told that their name meant child of God or beauty or something cool like that. But when the pastor guy came up to me with the list of names, he told me that my name meant field. Everyone stared at me. Clearly seeing the disappointment in my eyes, he told me that it wasn't so bad because I could be any kind of field I wanted. I decided on flower field, and I told everyone that my name actually meant flower. But about a week into my time there, I met a girl named Bonnie. We looked a lot alike, both with blonde hair, freckles, and large toothy smiles. We became friends quickly, and stayed that way. A while later, we found out that we'd also be going to the same elementary school, and to me at the time, that was the most exciting news ever. Bonnie and I spent the summer going to vacation Bible school and hanging out every day. School wasn't easy for me there on out. I didn't understand math, my grammar, spelling, punctuation, and overall writing sucked. Reading was lost on me, and waking up at 7:30 was not fun. The only fun part were my teachers. I remember my parents telling me about in 2nd grade, my teacher was Miss Shrum. She was odd to say the least. One day my parents came in early to pick me up from school. This was in late spring, and in class we had just hatched chicks. She asked if my parents wanted to see the baby chicks, and they reluctantly agreed. They walked over, and to their surprise, my teacher was reaching into her shirt. They stood there watching her, very confused at what was going to happen next, when she pulled a chick out of her bra. To her, this seemed perfectly normal. But seeing their confused faces, she explained that it was like she was their mother, and she had to keep them warm. That's when I walked into the room. I had been at recess and had missed the whole event. My parents hurried me out of there right when she tried to get us to hold it. Before I really get into my passages, I'd like to say thank you for being here. It means a lot for me that you guys would come down and watch my presentation. My name is Ainsley Grace Samuelson. I was born June 13th, 2003. I've lived in Beaverton, Oregon my entire life. I have a steady life with 2 loving parents, 1 tyrannical sister, and 2 very stupid dogs. This project was to write about our lives up to this point. Our memories, our mistakes, our wins, but to explain my life, we're going to have to go back a few years, to the end of 5th grade. Graduating 5th grade was hard. All my friends were going to be going to their neighborhood school, Cedar Park, but me being right outside the Cedar border was going to be separated from all of them completely. To 5th grade me, the thought of this was comparable to death. So my options were now either go to my neighborhood school, Meadow Park, or apply for an option school program. Going to Meadow Park was not an option for one reason: Lauren. Lauren and I were friends up until the middle of 5th grade, and one day her friend Anthony had to go up to the board to solve a problem. He dropped a slip of paper that he'd been working on earlier. My teacher moved over to get it, and her face immediately turned red. She requested to see Lauren and Anthony out in the hall. About 15 minutes later, they came in. Everybody was so confused, and later we learned that the list had been Anthony and Lauren's death list. And the 7th name on it? Ainsley Samuelson. I was so angry. Lauren and I live in the same neighborhood, so we were going to have to go to the same school if I didn't apply for an option school. First, I tried to get in at ACMA. This school specializes in performing arts, such as acting, singing, and playing instruments. I applied for filmmaking, but having no filmmaking experience, I didn't get in. When that didn't work, I applied at Springville. This school is advertised as hands-on learning, with lots of field trips and experiments. Being a very visual person, I liked the idea of a school that could cater to my needs. I didn't get into this school either. My mom told me that there was still hope, and I was on a waiting list. I was really low down, and it was a rare chance that I would get in, but there was still hope. My spirits were low, buying school supplies for a school I was dreading to go to. But then, a week before the first day of school, we got a call from the Beaverton School District. I got in. I was so happy, but this also meant that I didn't need any of the school supplies we had already bought. It also means that I didn't know anything about my new school, let alone how to get around. To my dismay, on the first day of school, my mom did not walk me into the building. I wandered around the crowds of people trying to find a familiar face, and I made my way upstairs by following the flow. I found my way to my classroom and took a seat. I looked at the people that were filing in and tried to figure out what their personalities would be like. I know, don't judge a book by its cover and all. I spent most of the school day alone and barely speaking, and at recess, I sat on the swings and rocked back and forth. I studied the girl that was sitting next to me. She was wearing bright leggings and an old race t-shirt. I felt too overdressed, wearing a frilly dress and lip gloss. I also found out that her name was Afton. We started talking, and after a while of sitting on the swings together in silence, we became friends. But it didn't start out just us. Me, Natalia, and Afton were best friends. We were like the Three Musketeers. We did everything together. We were inseparable and everything was fine until the middle of 7th grade. Natalia decided she didn't like me anymore. It broke my heart to see my two best friends hanging out without me. Afton and Natalia ended up breaking up, and Afton and I are still good friends. But going through those problems was really rough for me. Afton is one of my best friends. She's been with me through everything. She was one of my first middle school friends, and I'm so happy she was. I couldn't have made it through any rough times without her. Coming to Springville was hard for me for many reasons. The main one was because I was coming without my friends. But I made so many more along the way. Kendall. I met her this year. She's sweet, she's kind, and she's always putting a smile on my face. Hannah. She's beautiful. She has an amazing personality, and she always knows when I'm hurting. Lily. Though we've had our problems in the past, she's still one of my best friends. I can tell her anything, and she's always a shoulder to cry on. These people are my family. They're my home. They're where I feel safe, and I can't thank them enough for being with me through the thick and the thin. They mean so much to me, and I can't imagine my middle school experience without their guiding light. In the world we live in today, there are a lot of problems. Sometimes it can feel helpless to try to grasp on and help the world become a better place. So in my little corner of the world, I'm taking small steps to take a big one. The issue I'm taking on is sexism. Sexism is everywhere in our daily lives, and most of the time, there's no punishment for the assault of women. Out of every 1,000 sexual assaults, 33 are reported to the police, 29 are recorded as a crime, 12 have charges laid, 6 are prosecuted, 3 lead to conviction, and out of all of those, 997 assailants walk free. Also, on average, women are paid 82 cents to every dollar that a man earns in the same period of time. There's also the factor that women are constantly being stereotyped as weak, boring, sensitive, dramatic, shopaholics who clean all day and make dinner every night. This is so unfair for so many reasons. Why is it that we're living in a past of unequal rights in a time where the world is so advanced? Women weren't even allowed to vote until the 1920s, which may seem like a long time ago, but when you think about it, men have been voting since 1868. No one is born with sexist beliefs or opinions. They are taught and they're learned. So why is it that women are treated as less than men? Something that's really important to me is women's rights. One of my greatest goals in life is to be classified as a hardcore feminist. In my opinion, a hardcore feminist is a person, no matter their gender, who stands up and believes that women are treated unfairly and are willing to do something about it. In my opinion, some of the most amazing hardcore feminists are Mary Jackson, Gloria Steinem, and Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. These women inspire me for many reasons. Mary Jackson. She was a black female mathematician and was NASA's first female African-American engineer. She defeated all odds with confidence and grace and paved the way for women in the technology field. Gloria Steinem. Gloria Steinem is a big-time feminist, activist, and writer. She's best known for being a leader in the feminist movement. The feminist movement was a period between 1960 and 1980, when women fought for common rights and broadened the spectrum of feminism. And last but not least, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She's a Nigerian writer and motivational speaker. I became aware of her from her TED Talk turned book, We Should All Be Feminists. The way she speaks and writes is amazing. She uses humor and brightness in her work and makes learning about our current world fun and interesting. My biggest goal in the Hardcore Feminist Plan is to inspire little girls and empower them to be bigger than themselves. I want to break stereotypes and show people that women can be anything. I've started to reach this goal already. This year, I did a project with a few friends where our main focus was to inform people about sexism in our daily world. For this project, we made a speech, presentation, poster, survey, and we interviewed the student advisor at PCC Rock Creek. Then after this project, I decided to continue working on the topic and make shirts. The shirts were sold for $20 each, and $5 of every shirt was donated to the Portland Domestic Abuse and Violence Women's Shelter. I sold over 30 shirts in the course of a week and raised $150 for the shelter. Stripping people down for parts is easy. You could say that I'm a teenager. I'm moody and boring and I tend to make bad decisions. You could say I'm a female. I'm a woman, and I'm stereotyped and discriminated for something that I can't control. I'm white. I was born into a race that has hurt many people throughout history, and I'm the generation that's going to have to deal with the mess we've made. I wear makeup, and for the more shallow people of this world, that means that I'm stupid, ditzy, but it gives me confidence, and it's a form of art. But the challenging part is seeing on the inside. This is something that humans have had a problem with, and something we need to fix. So I'm a dreamer. I have a vision for the future, and I won't stop until it becomes a reality. I'm an individual. I'm unique, and I'm like no one else, and I never will be. I'm beautiful. I have beauty inside and out, just like everyone else. And I'm a builder. I'm building my future brick by brick, and I'm smoothing out all the bumps away that hold me back. And in conclusion, I'd like to say thank you for watching my passages presentation and supporting my project.